As I once upon a time mentioned, I'm probably not going to be able to contain my hype for this upcoming Stargate set, and what you know, I just can't help but talk about the cards a little bit early. So what this little countdown series is going to be, or well, I'm calling it countdown, but like, essentially what we're going to do is that I'm going to be taking a look at the Dimension Police cards that are revealed like over the week, and then either on like the Sunday or the Monday, depending on my time schedule, I'll just talk about them. Sometimes I'll do it like today, where I'm just kind of talking into the mic. Sometimes I'll do it like with the actual camera, like I would with some other videos. So we'll see how it goes. But for today, we're just gonna go about it with the mic because it's kind of late and I'm a bit busy. So that's how it's gonna roll. So. Just because it's the first time, I'm not just gonna go over the stuff from this week, but just like all the DP stuff that's been revealed so far. The first thing we had was Dimensional Robo Pilot Matthew. Sadly, this guy is actually kind of garbage. So his skill is, he's a starter and he has a skill, count +1 and slide him into the soul. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if they are all D-Robos, then you put the one with the highest power from among them into your hand, and if it's a grade 3, then you countercharge 1, so it refunds the cost, and then the rest of the cards that you reveal go into the drop zone. So this guy honestly is pretty disappointing. When you've got something like Diehawk to compete with, who's in my opinion one of the most amazing starters in the game, it's really hard to compete in my opinion. But luckily, I was a bit afraid that this would be the direction that the new D-Robo support would be going in, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because actually Eradicator's got a similar starter in Kosanjo that I'll just pull up. It does a really similar thing, but it didn't dictate where Eradicators were going, so I'm pretty sure this is just like a random common slot that they revealed early, so I'm not too worried. But sadly, Mr. Matthew is kinda garbage. However, the second card that they revealed was a bit of a while ago, but it was the new stand trigger, which is Dimensional Robo Die Draft. And it's a very simple skill. It's an Akon Rearguard Circle. You slide her into the soul, and if your Vanguard is grade 4 or greater, then you draw a card and give your Vanguard +4 cancel end of turn. Now, what's great about this is that it gives you soul for your stuff like Weaking and anything else that the new support may use, because these cards are really kind of pumping soul a lot, and I have a feeling Dynexus will probably interact with that. So this is essentially like what it is that one is a stand trigger with D-Robo in the name, which is pretty important because the only D-Robo stand trigger we've had this whole time was a vanilla, so it's pretty nice. And on top of that, it does give the +4k buff, fixing up your magic numbers, and it does draw you a card. It's not GB1, but you do have to be on grade 4 or greater. It does say or greater, so there's a chance this probably doesn't mean anything, but I'm open to the possibility that the new stuff, maybe Dynexus himself, will like have a sort of like the legend skill where he like pumps up his own grade. But we'll see about that. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but we'll see how it goes. I personally like the stand trigger a lot because it gives you soul. It works as a psychic bird, so it draws you a card for sliding it in there, and it also has D-Robo in the name. So if you do still focus on the Legion, which I don't like. You do play the Legion, but you Legion 1 every 10 or even 20 games, so like having the D-Robo soul shouldn't be your biggest concern. It's having the soul to use it with Weaking to protect yourself against like stuff like Ichikishima is what your main concern should be. So definitely a nice card. I like the stand trigger a lot, and I think we're going to be kind of moving out of the like 8 crit 4 draw format that we have right now for D-Robos, thanks to this one. Like, it's definitely a good start, so I'm quite happy about it. Then the next 2 cards were revealed like together, but I'll talk about them separately. So the first one of which was Dimensional Robo Die Crusher. So this is a new grade 2 D-Robo, and it has 2 skills. The first one of which is when it's called, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, you soul charge 1, and if the card that was soul charged is D-Robo, then he gets +2k. So he becomes an 11k attacker no matter what. Well, I wouldn't say no matter what, because you could soul charge Weaking, you could soul charge Laurel, and if you play anything else that's like PG, like the Cosmic Hero PG or something, then if you soul charge that, then it won't get the buff, so that part is okay. But again, like, this does soul charge, which is quite interesting, so this is yet another card that does something with the soul. And the second skill, basically before this, I wasn't sure where Dynexus was going. I wasn't sure if they would keep up with the drive checking grade 3s thing, or if they would kind of try a different focus, but the second skill makes me believe otherwise. So it's a once per turn GB1. When your drive check reveals a grade 3 card with D-Robo in its name, he gets +10 cancel out of turn. So this does say essentially the same thing. When you do drive check a D-Robo, he gets +10k. Sadly, once per turn, so if you do triple check, you won't get a 30k buff, as nice as that would be. It only goes up to, well, either 19k or 21k with the skill of with his first skill, but it's definitely not bad because honestly, like when you go first stride into Die Earth or something, and like you already start checking grade 3s by then, or so in the end, like you can play like a one-of this guy. I don't think he's that great, but I think he's good enough to like, because right now you have the option to run one-ofs in your grade 2 lineup just because Die Earth allows you to do that. So you can easily run this guy as a one-of, and like if you don't have any grade 3s in your drop zone, you don't need to call Dijet yet. You can just hold on to it for now, like let it stay in the deck. You don't have to worry about it. Like in the current situation, you'd be calling Diressen. Like I run a one-of copy of Diressen right now, and I just call him out for a 13k, like he just sits there at 13k. Usually I'm just gonna be having Laurels out there, and so like what his number is at doesn't really matter. But with this guy, if like they PG your Die Earth, which they usually will, then you're just going to be able to, and if you get a grade 3, he's going to be swinging for like 21k, and that's pretty nice. So I don't think he's actually that bad. A lot of people dismissed him like right off the bat, but I think he's actually definitely not too bad. And then the other card that was revealed alongside was Die Cutter, so also a Dimensional Robo. I really like his art. I think it just looks so fancy, and I think it's going to look even nicer in person. So it does have only one skill, which is when you ride a Dimensional Robo, or not ride, but when something is placed on the Vanguard circle with the Robo in its name, he gets plus 2k until end of turn. And then if the unit that was placed is grade 4 or higher, so again, referencing or higher, you soul charge 1 and he gets plus 2k until end of turn. So again, this is the third card that soul charges. This is like, it's kind of weird, because I have a feeling that like Die Nexus is gonna do something with the soul, and that is kind of interesting because right now I like to use Weaking and I like to just, you know, live against Ishikishima. It feels kind of good. But the nice thing about this grade 1 is that it's not a GB1 skill. So if you plop him down on turn 1 and then you ride your grade 2, he goes up to 9k on turn 2 already. And then you can keep having him just boost for 9k every single turn, or alternatively you can use him a bit more aggressively and just like keep swinging with 9k until the opponent decides that it's about time to start killing him off maybe. And on top of that, he does give you the soul charge, and then once you do start striding, then he also becomes an 11k. So whether you use that as an attacker or a booster is up to you. But even then, if you, let's say, like do pull out the Diressen and put him behind, they make at least, well, 21k or 23k, depending on if you're running Daikaiser or not. So that's definitely quite cool, but he does have to be on the field beforehand. If they give us if Die Nexus is some kind of strider skill that lets you call a unit before you stride, then this will interact quite nicely. But if not, then, you know, he's just going to be something you have to call beforehand. So we'll see how they handle that, but honestly, I don't think this grade 1, like some people like kind of just wrote this guy off. I honestly think he's not that bad. I think he's going to be, it depends how the rest of the deck is going to work, but for now I think he's quite good. And then the last card that got revealed for Dimension Police, and in my opinion by far the best, and I think a lot of people will agree that it's by far the best, is Cosmic Hero Grandmont. So this is a PG which can protect any unit, so it's not restricted to like to burst units, it's not restricted to Cosmic Heroes, nothing like that, but it does have a second condition. If in the middle of the guarding that you place this unit to guard with, if the opponent has a unit with power 30k or greater, you draw a card. This doesn't refer to the unit that you're defending against having 30k or greater, it's just if your opponent has one. Like, they can be attacking you with a 26k unboosted Vanguard. They'd be like, oh, like that means you won't be able to use your PG. Haha, you've got that 33k rearguard sitting over there and I'm going to be able to draw a card now. This is so nice. It's free. Like, they will almost always have something that's like lying around there with 30k. Like, you can even be after the battle that like they have an rested unit that has 30k because, like, you know, they still have like their like if they use any skills to power it up, it still stays until end of turn. If they use triggers, it still stays until end of turn. So this is really nice. I really like that it's not the attacking unit has to have 30k, and I'm pretty sure it's not a mistranslation either. It is so nice that it's like just a unit on the field with 30k or more, and that's so good because you draw that extra card, and that extra card can take you a long way. Now the second skill, which is like definitely not, like, it's hard to say which one of these is better because they're both so good, but the second skill is an act in the drop zone GB1. You bind him face up. and then you choose 6 of your units, and until end of turn they get resist. This is so good because this isn't even like a bind him and another copy of him face up. You just bind him on his own face up. That is so ridiculous because that means you can get away with running like 1 or 2 of him. You don't even have to max him out or anything. Like, because if you're playing Burst, you still want to play the Enigman PG because that one is still really good. It's essentially infinite. Not infinite, but like every turn you can get it back. Kind of infinite. So that's definitely a very cool part about it. And so, but the fact that it gives resist is so good in like everything. Like if you're playing Cosmic Heroes, obviously you're pumping in the current state of Cosmic Heroes. It might change with this set, we don't really know yet. But in the current state of Cosmic Heroes, this is ridiculous because essentially like you're powering up things all the time, and you know, they can get Denial Griffined, you know, they can get Bellogged and whatnot. But with this, it's like, no, it can't. Everything has resist. But man, if you're playing D-Robos, this is actually insane because you give resist to the boy Laurel himself. So head to around doesn't hit him. If you only have like, if you don't have a booster behind your Vanguard and you only have 4 units, and then like they use anything that can like get rid of your rear guards, like it's just not gonna happen. The only thing that I believe will still hit him is Defeat Flare because it has the AoE back row retire, therefore it should bypass resist normally. So this is honestly really, really good because one of the problems of the deck in the current state is that when you play against something like Gear Chronicle, if you have 4 rear guards and they head around your Laurel, like you're gonna have to top deck that Laurel again. So it's a little bit of a kind of sad thing. And like the other thing I like is that it's just him that you bind. You don't have to bind 2 copies of him, and that just makes it so much better because that means you can use it so many more times as well. So I really, really, really like Grandmont. I think this card is like actually insanely good. So it's gonna be, I want to say, we're gonna see, because I'm pretty sure D-Robos will get another Perfect Guard that will be rare. I don't expect to have a skill as good as this, but currently D-Robos play the vanilla Perfect Guard anyway. At least I do. I know other people play the unflipping one, but I don't think it's necessary. So we'll see what else D-Robos get, but I think this will be a 4 of in D-Robos as well. In Burst, I don't know because the Enigma one is still very good, so we'll see about that. But definitely a very good card. Overall, I think all 5 cards are more or less good, except for the starter, Matthew. He's actually bad. Like, that one I can't defend, sadly. But the stand is nice, both the grade 1 and the grade 2 are nice, and most of all, the PG is actually perfect and exactly what the clan needed. So, let me know if you guys like this kind of thing. Also, I'm only going to be talking about DP. I'm not going to talk about Link Choker or Nova Grappler. Nova Grappler is technically my second main clan. But I don't know it in as much detail as my friend Nick, who runs the blog Nova Grappler Ring, does. So like if you do want to check up on like really good in-depth thoughts on the newly revealed cards, then I'm going to link his blog in the description. You can just check it out, and he just talks about all the new stuff just like I am in video format right now, but with Dimension Police. So do let me know if you guys like this, because I'm probably just going to keep doing it every week, or at least I'll try to unless I'm busy with something else, because it is like holiday season now, so like a lot of stuff like Christmas Eve and Christmas and like New Year's Eve and New Year's are falling on this like Sunday, Monday period. So we'll see how it works out. And I mean, there might even be weeks where we don't get any reveals. So like, although I kind of doubt that'll happen. I think even if there's like 1 or 2 cards, I'll do at least like a short video talking about it, but we'll see. So that's gonna be pretty much it for me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little like mini discussion talking about reveals video, my own thoughts, because a lot of people ask me like, oh, what do you think of this, and like I do post about it on Twitter. Like you always see my first impressions either on Twitter or on Discord, one of the two, maybe even both. But I know that a lot of people just want to hear my collected thoughts. They might change by the time the set comes out in English. We'll see, because by then I will have tested it in English. So maybe the things I'm saying now will be different in the set breakdown. We'll see. I'm just working with what we have so far. So that's going to be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.